Okay, so in our last class, we saw how to install the Jenkins and from the scratch, and we saw how we can install the plugins. Okay, so you are now familiar with how we can just do the installations and do the basic setup of the plugins. Okay, before we start. Now, if I go to the manage Jenkins, and if you see here, lots of other plugins which are asking for to upgrade it, right? Newer version is available to upgrade it. But normally what happens, you should not directly go and upgrade your Jenkins, okay? You never do it because it will impact if you do upgrade all the plugins, whatever being used, the plugin might be working perfectly for any pipeline script or for any automations for one of your project. And if you upgrade without any things knowing, and then it will impact the automations and the impact the jobs which are already being executed and running as part of that plugin. Okay, you never do directly upgradations. Okay, now yesterday I was showing you the tool setups in the global tool configurations. Okay, so that time I show you how to set up the Git and set up the JDK, like the Java development, as you need to use the JDK for your Java projects or Java project build. Okay, so if you see here, I have this local Java. I have given a name to it and given a Java home. So what is this Java home? Where your Java is installed, and your user leave JVM, then JRE open JDK bin where the Java library or Java JDK is available or installed. Okay, similarly, you have to install the Java and provide the Java home where the Java is installed. Okay, this is about the Java. Okay, now what happened? I just updated it. Let's move to that. Okay, if I go there, JDK installations, yeah, it's there. Now, if I similarly Git also default, the name as given as default, but let me give it as local Git, something like this, local Git. And I have added the Maven also to build the Maven part. If you see here, I have this local Maven and OPT. To work with this Maven, okay, Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool. Okay, so what is the Maven? There, okay. So Ibrahim, do you have any idea? Can you just explain and tell the people what is the Maven and why we need it? If you have some ideas or some knowledge.
As you said, Maven is a build tool, and using we can create artifact, right? Using Maven.
Exactly. So it is a build tool which will be used to build the Java-based applications, only for Java-based applications. Okay. We have a Maven lifecycle also, Maven build lifecycle, which definitely will get questions on this. Okay. Definitely for Java Maven lifecycles. Okay. So I have kept it somewhere in the Java Maven cycle. Just a second, let me get it this for you. If I come here, Maven, okay, Maven build lifecycle. Let me ping this one, and you keep this handy, and definitely you may get questions. Just let me ping you in the chat itself. Okay, so let me ping in the chat here. I added it here. Okay, so just open this one and bookmark before I close this chat. No, once I close, it will be vanished, right? So bookmark it. So if you go to this Maven build lifecycle, because most of the applications, whatever you may work, might be written in Java, or a Java-based application you might work, right? You may work. that time you should understand how the Maven works, how the Maven built, because most of the applications nowadays they build using Maven, or few companies they use Gradle to build the application. So if you are using Maven or same tools, because the build life cycle will be same. So a build life cycle is made up of the different phases. Okay, one of the phases is validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, and deploy. Sometimes what happens, they ask what the validate does in a build life cycle. What the validate does, validate the project is correct and all necessary information is available. If you use validate command, it will validate the so the next one is the compile. Compile the source code of the project, because Java is whenever you compile it, right, it will compile the source code. Now the next one is the test the compiled source code using the suitable unit testing framework. So once the compilation is done, you have to do the unit testing, right? For Java, the most popular is the JUnit. Using the JUnit, you can test it, right? So once the test is done, what you can do? Package it. Take the compiled code and package it in distributable format such as jar or war file. And verify, run any checks on results of integration test. Verify, install the package into the local repository for use as a dependency in other projects locally. Deploy, done in the build environment, copies the final package to remote repository for sharing with other developers and projects. So these are the phases. These are the different phases of the build lifecycle. Different phases of the build lifecycle. So what you can see here, now, one second. So this is a different pages of the build life cycle. Now what you'll do here, and these are the command line, how you'll execute, because once you install the Maven, you can use ambient command to use verify, ambient clean, deploy. So what does this clean does? It will clean the packages, whatever the existing on the packages, and then use the deploy command to deploy it, right? So all these things we can do by using this Maven command, see, test, compile, and all these details. Okay, now, so how we'll do this Maven installations? You can directly install it here based on the versions of the Maven you need for your project. Also, I have a documentations on these installations of the Jenkins and other required tools in the CentOS and Linux systems. Everything, all the setups I've given it here. I'll share these documentations with you guys, and you can just keep it handy, and then use it for further reference. Okay, how we'll set up this Maven, and how we'll set up this Tomcat server. These things also we are going to do it in our classes. Okay, the Tomcat server setup and all. I'll show you everything. Don't worry. So once you do the Maven setup, let me just explain you the Maven, how you'll just download it. So it is very simple things. We have to use the sudo wget. If you're using Windows machine, you can simply download, go to the Apache Maven server, and there you can download the Maven zip file on GPAN and keep it in the Maven folder and use it. Same thing also we are doing in the Linux. We are just downloading the tar file, renaming it, and putting into one folder that's called opt Maven, and from there I'm executing this one. Okay, this part is done. Tools and configurations. Now today we'll see how we can use and create a job. So far we have discussed about, right, we have discussed about all the details, and I showed you how we can install the plugins, right? Now let's go ahead and create a simple project. Create a simple project. Okay, so how you'll do, you have to create the new item. As I said, you have to go and click on the new item, and here you have to provide the job name. So how you provide the job name and what should you provide it here? It's be specific and precisely you have to provide based on your naming convention being provided in your company, in your project. So suppose the project name you will provide, like suppose I'll give test project, something like test job or test project, something like this. And here you can see the type of job or type of project you want to create. There's a freestyle project, Maven project, pipeline project, okay, multi-configuration project, folder project, multi-branch project, organization, folders and all. So here, if you see here, we have this freestyle project. I'll show you a few of them, not everything. So what this freestyle project does, this is the central feature of Jenkins. Jenkins will build your project, combining any source code management SCM with any build system. And this can be even used for something other than the software build. Suppose you need any ad hoc basis, anything to do, not only the software build, you can do any kind of delivery, any kind of executions, command execution, any kind of copy or anything. Just go with the freestyle project quickly and set it up. This is a handy, this is a very simple way to create ad hoc basically whenever you need immediately something to be created. Come here and quickly create it and do for one time. Okay. Now, the next one is the Maven project. What is this? Build a Maven project. It will build a Maven project. Jenkins take advantage of your POM file and drastically reduces the configurations. So if you're working on a Maven project, Maven build or a Java project, which is required Maven project, Maven POM file to be built, you can go with Maven project also. I'll show you when we work on the Java POM, what is POM and everything. I'll explain you. Don't worry about that. Okay. And the next one is the pipeline, which mostly will work on this pipeline. Is the entirely for automation. This is the orchestrate long-running activities. This is a short-term ad hoc job. You can go with freestyle project. Just remember, right? Just remember and try to understand why you need and when you need the things. Why you need and when you need. Freestyle, why it is required and when it is required. Maven, similarly, and pipeline. Pipeline is the fully automated script. We'll see how we can write this pipeline script automatically to do that. Okay. Now, orchestrates long-running activities that can span multiple build agents suitable for building pipelines, formerly known as workflows, and organizing complex activities that do not easily fit in freestyle job type. So complex activities like you can write conditions, you can write looping, complete programming, you can write in the pipeline script. That I'll show you. And most of the project will do in the pipeline. And that is what in the interview also it will come. Similarly, we have multi-configuration project, multiple configurations, folder-based. You have to create folder and then put the jobs there. Multi-branch pipeline. I'll show you how the multi-branch pipeline and what is the benefit of using this multi-branch pipeline. What it does, it creates a set of pipeline projects according to the detected branches in one source code repository. And then organization folder creates a set of multi-branch project subfolders by scanning for repositories. Okay, all these details will be available. But let me go with first freestyle job setup. It's very simple things how we'll create a job in the Jenkins. Select, give a name, okay. And once it is created, it will have multiple tabs with multiple fields available there. I'll explain you each and everything, okay. Now, if you see this left-hand side, we have the general section, source code management section, build trigger section, build environment, build steps, post build actions. These are the steps or stages which is required. These are the stages which are required for the job to run. Here the generals and descriptions you can see here. You can just give, suppose based on the project, you have to provide a good description so that everyone can understand what this project is for. I can give a test demo project, something like this. Okay. Now here multiple options are available here. GitHub project, discard world builds, enable project, turtle builds. All these things will come to know once we move on with different types of projects. Okay, for the timing, leave it. Now we have the source code management, which repository or which source code management you want to use. Already based on the Git plugins, you can see here the Git is available. If you want the SVN repository or source code management to use, so what you have to do, you have to create the SVN. Now we don't have this SVN available here, right? We have only Git and non. Git is available, but not SVN. So how will get this SVN here? If you understand.
We're installing the plugins of SVN.
Yes. So we have to go ahead and install the plugin. So let's go and install the plugins. If I go here, manage Jenkins and manage plugins, here, where I have to go, available plugins here, and then SVN subversion, right? Select it and install without restart. Okay, it's done. Restart Jenkins. Just wait for a few minutes here. Let me just log into the restarting will not work, I think. I'll tell you why it will not work. Okay. So it's not restarting. Let me just do troubleshoot in the backend. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll let me log into the Jenkins server manually. Okay. Jenkins dot. Okay. I connected to the Jenkins server. So if I do system ctl status Jenkins, it will show the error. Okay. So it is failed. It is not starting up. When I restarted, it is not starting up. Why it is failed? It could be due to the fail to start Jenkins service, Jenkins main properties. Okay, what happens? We get this kind of error when the Jenkins does not get the required Java version. Okay, so if I just go and check the what is my Java version is currently available. Okay, so we have a there is a command called so if I go ahead and check the Java version, we have currently the Java version Java 1.8 is selected. Okay, and the updated new version of Jenkins is required Java 11. The new versions of Jenkins is required Java 11. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to just change the Java type. I have two Java versions available in my machine. I will just select the one Java. One is 1.8 and two is 11, right? Select two. Then now let's restart the Jenkins from here itself. Sudo, I'll start the Jenkins in the backend. Okay, this is how in the backend you have to start the Jenkins. Okay. Sudo systemctl start Jenkins. Enter. Just wait for a few seconds. Now it is started. If you do and check the status, see, it's active and running. Now my Jenkins server is running. See, it has come up now. So if I do, so this is how we have to troubleshoot, guys, any issues, right? It's good that we encountered one issue. So I just logged into the server again. Now let's go and create a freestyle job. I just gave it as test project, something like this. Freestyle, okay. Give a name to it. Okay, now we can see here, when I install this plugin, as soon as I got this, as soon as I install the plugin, I got this subversion option available here, right? So I'll show you this source code management uses later. So far, for the first job, let's keep it as none, okay? And build trigger. The next first one, the source code management section is done. Then build trigger option. The build trigger is how you want the build to be triggered, build to be executed. How you want the build to be triggered. Now trigger builds remotely, that is from a script. If you want to execute, you can do that. Build after other projects are built. We'll explain all these things one by one once we move on. Build periodically, GitHub trigger hook, poll mailbox trigger, poll source code management. All are very important and should understand each of them, why you will need it. And based on your requirement, you have to select any one of them. For the time being, I don't need anything. Okay, leave it. Build environment. What you want for the environment, build environment to be delete workspace before build starts. That means when you start any new build, your existing previous build should be deleted. That means your workspace should be cleaned. No junks would be there. No junks would be there. Everything should be cleaned. Okay. So you have to use like this. Now, now what happens? What do we do here? Then use secret text files or add timestamps and all, right? And if you want to see here, inspect build log, terminate a build if it's stuck. Okay, all these details you can do that. Now the build step. This is build environment is done. Now the build step, where you need the details what you want to do with the build. Here we have different steps based on the plugins we have. We'll get all these options available. We have our Ansible plugin install, so we are getting this Ansible options. When we finish the Ansible, we'll also have a project to do with Jenkins. That time I'll explain you all this. Okay. And also we have S3, like AWS S3, we have already. I have, and we have a Maven plugin installed, Gradle plugin installed, and plugin installed. Okay, so suppose I want to execute a shell command, simply Linux shell command, give it, and it gives me the environment, the window where we have to put the command to execute. In the build state, I want suppose echo hello Jenkins. This is the first freestyle job to demonstrate. Good. Okay, so I just executed few Unix or Unix or commands. Okay, that's a post build section. Next is post build action. After the build is done, what you want to do, that will find in post build section. And these are also comes as part of the plugins, the required plugins. Okay, now all this done is very simple things, because I don't need anything to do after the build is done, because there is nothing is building. We are simply running one adagio to just print in the console output. That's all, nothing there, right? So we created our job, very basic job for the demonstrations of the first Jenkins job. Save it. Now if you go to the dashboard, we'll see we have multiple jobs here, and I created this test project, and this test project was created earlier. So let me delete this, it's not required. Delete. And this is the one which we created just now. Okay, and if I go here, this, if you see here, okay, let me explain this particular dashboard here, what exactly you can see here is, this is for the status of the last build. Status of the last build. What was the last build of the project? We'll get the status here. Okay. And the next one is the weather report, like what is the build and how many times it has got success and how many times it has failed. We'll see different kind of icons available here, the report. And here you can see not yet built, and this cross means last build is failed. Here the last build not started. Here last build failed. Here last build is success. You'll get this kind of icons here for status of the last build. And the status report of the weather report, like complete build report. If you see here, 100%, this is totally sun. That means not started, it's not run. And here, build stability, all recent builds failed. We have total 36 builds, but most of them failed. Build stability. And here, build stability, no recent builds failed, all are success. Similarly, you can say build stability, 1 out of the last 4 builds failed. Got it? This type of reports, you will find it out. Good. Now, this is the name of the jobs, name of the project or jobs. Here I gave, let me rename this job. There should not be any space actually, okay? So the project name here, test project, and last success, not shown. Last failure, not accept. Last duration, how much time it takes to build it. And here is the button to trigger the build. If I just click it, this build will start. Okay. And here the favorite, if you want to select it, which one is the favorite job, you can see, start it. That's all about this complete dashboard. Now, if you see the left hand side, we have this build queue and we have this executor. So what is this executor? It is responsible to execute the job. It is responsible to execute the job, right? So if you see here, executor is a separate stream of bills to be run on node parallelly, and node can have more executors, one or more executors. It's a parallel stream which we use to execute the jobs. And you can see this master node or master machine where, what is the Jenkins master? Where the Jenkins server is installed. Okay. 1 second, guys. Where the master, where the Jenkins is installed. That is the master server. Okay, now you can see here the build queues. That means what are the jobs are in the queue or waiting to be built. And this build executors, here you can see 2 executors available for this master node. For this machine, we have 2 executors. Means when I build one job, one executor will take it. If I build 2 jobs, 2 executors will run parallelly. If I build 3 jobs, what will happen? 2 will be taken by the executor. Now 1 will be on build queue. I'll do the demo, don't worry, in queue. So now let's go ahead. As we have this job, we can directly click here to build this project. Click it. Here. I build this one, okay? Now, if I go to this job, you can see here, the build has run now and it is success. First build number 1, this is the build number 1, run on 22 Jan. When I click that button, it started the build and we got it. To see the output of this job, what we'll do, click on this right mark, success, right? Click on this, we'll get the console output. This is the console output started by the user Ranjit Swine, and this is the workspace, and this is the commands executed. Hello Jenkins, this is the first freestyle demonstrate, and today's state is this one. Got it? Whatever the things in the build step we had provided, it is executed. So another way to check the console output is, if you go to the jobs, you have to simply, here you'll find what you do here, 1, right? Click on this. Okay, the build number, this is the build number here, and here console output, right? This way also you can do it. Now we saw the first job, we created and executed it, right? The test job is there. Now if I go to the dashboard, okay, here we have the test projects here. Now, if we go and check here, let's do the demonstration of the executors. Now let's go ahead and create 3 jobs very quickly. Leave 1, suppose I'll give, okay. I'm not giving anything here, simply going to the build step, execute slave cell, and here I'm giving sleep. Suppose I'll give like sleep for 10 seconds. Sleep for 10 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds, it will be very quick. Let it sleep for 30 seconds. Okay. Save. I just created a job. Let's go ahead and create another 2 jobs similarly. Go ahead. I'm demonstrating the executor and queue wait state. Okay. Now I'll just give another job name, sleep 2. Freestyle. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go directly to build step, execute cell, sleep, 30 seconds. Sleep command will execute and it will make the job to sleep for 30 seconds, right? And new item, I'll give it as sleeves 3 freestyle. Okay. Build step, execute cell here. Now give sleep 30. Okay. Now what we'll do, let's save it. We have 3 jobs created. Okay. So we have 3 jobs. I created sleep 1, sleep 2, and sleep 3. Okay. So let's go ahead and execute all these 3 jobs parallelly. One after another. I'll execute. Okay. Let's execute this one. Sleep 3 first. I clicked it. Second, build scheduled. Third, build scheduled. Okay. Now we can see here, I have 2 jobs which has been taken by 2 executors. Sleep 2 and sleep 3 has been executed by this executors, and sleep 1 is in queue wait, build queue wait. See, it is waiting. Once one of these finishes, it will come up and execute it. Now you understood clearly how the executors works and build, what is the use of the build queue, right? Now both 2 completed. Now sleep 1 has come now. See?
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is how, and you have to understand fully whatever you are using, what is the executor, what is the use of that. Okay. Because whatever the we execute, it will take it and execute the build on that particular machine. Okay. So that's all about this particular little examples on the queue wait and all. Let me delete these projects because I don't need now. So how will delete? Just drop down here, delete project. Okay. Similarly, I'll go here, delete project. Okay, let the test project be there. Okay, now what we did, we simply created a project. Now, suppose you want to modify this project, and I showed you already how you can rename the project, right? How you can rename, just select this one and go down, you'll have rename, then you can rename the project. That is okay. But how you will modify the project, freestyle job, I will modify it. Click this project, open, come to the project dashboard, and here you can find one configure button. See, directly there, you can click the build option and it will be build the job. And if you want to go inside the project and want to build, you can click another build option here also, right? Another build option here. 1 second.
These 2 build means same or separate? Build
Same.
Okay.
When you click there, it will execute the build. If you click here also, it will execute the build.
Okay.
But they have given two places the build. Directly on the dashboard, one build button, and here inside a project, they have given another build button.
Okay.
So here you can see the build, and here we have the last build, first build has done. Now I'll click on this build now. Let's see, another build has executed. See, second build number 2, and this is the build number 2. Similarly, when the next build, it will be increasing in the incremental order 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like this. All build number will be executed. Okay. Now you are clear on this, how you'll modify this one. Okay, let me go. This build now is done. Now we can see if you want to modify this project, what you can do, click on the configure. You'll come to the project modification page. See, general here, all this project. Right? Here, suppose I want to add here echo. I just give I am from the build and give the build number. Okay. Suppose and the build number is, I can give build underscore ID. I'll explain all this, don't worry. What is this? This is the environment variable, okay, Jenkins environment variable. So it will give you this build ID. Okay, now save it. I clicked on the configure, then I changed something in the project, then I can save it. Here you can see we have two buttons, apply and save. So what is this two difference? Apply and save. If I do apply, it will save the current changes and be in this particular page itself. Let's do apply. See, it just saved whatever the changes I did it, but still remained on the same configuration pages. Okay, same configure pages. If I do save, it will save it and exit from this configuration page. See, it exited, right? That is the difference. Now, I updated something. Let's build it. Build now. We have now will be third build. Okay, third build. Let's go to the console output. You can directly click on the right button here or click on the third build number. If you click on the build number, then you have to go to the console output here, or else you can directly click on this status, then you'll go to the console output. Come and here, see, I am from the build 3. I am from the build 3. So build ID gave us the current build ID. Current build ID. Okay, this is the simple, very basic freestyle job I just explained. Now let's work a freestyle job to build a project, to build a Java project. How we'll do that? Let's go ahead and create a new Java job. Now let's delete this one. Okay, I'll delete this project. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create a new item. We'll do here. Let's create my Java app, something like this. I gave. It's up to your project requirement. You have to give the name. Okay, I just give my Java app, something a project name, or my Java project. Something I give like this. Freestyle project. Okay. Give a description, suitable description based on your project. I don't need it now. Now in the source code management, and the last example I had given none. So now select Git. Select Git. Okay. Here it is asking for the repository URL, which repository or which project you want to automate. So let's go to your GitHub. Okay. And repositories here. And suppose I want this project to be automated. Click on this and get the URL. How will get? Click on this, get this URL. Okay. Come here, put it this part. Okay. As it is a public repository, it will not ask for any credentials. It will not ask for any credentials. Normally for your company, you don't have to be work on public repository, right? You have to work on a private repository. For that, you have to set up the credentials. I'll show you how you can do the set up the credentials when we do the private project, one of the private project. But for this demo, let it be a public repo and then work on this. So I have already credentials. Based on this, I have credentials set up. I'll show you how you can do the credential setups also. Okay, I will do the credential setup also. Now let it be there. Okay. So credentials, it's not equal as it is a public repo. Now here, which branch you need to build? So if you go to this DevOps web project or repository, we have multiple branches. We have 18 branches. We have 18 branches. So which branch do you need to build? Which branch do you need to build? If I go here, if I select this one, I have multiple branches here. See, and which branch do you build it. Suppose let the master branches be there. I have multiple branches. I'll show you different branches. I'll create another branch and we build it. Okay, I'll just show you how we work. Okay, now let's do the same. Let's keep the same master branch. If you want to do any other branches, suppose dev 1.1, you can give dev 1.1 or master branch. Okay, done. This is the branch to build, and this is source code management part is over. We set it up. Done. Now let's go to the build trigger. I don't need anything now. Leave it. Let's go to the build environment. I don't need even. Let's go to build step now. So here, as this project is a Java project, and I need a Maven tool to be there to build this project, right? So what I need for the build step, I need the invoke top level Maven target. Select this one, invoke top level, and here select the Maven. See, if you select the Maven version, and when you click it, I get local Maven. From where it is fetching this data, fetching this local Maven?
Where you install that Maven?
Okay, in Jenkins, where we have set up this, this one. We have given a name, right? What is this name, local Maven, and where it is getting it? This is a very good question, and you should understand, guys.
AWS, right?
Ibrahim, I already have shown you from today morning starting there. In the global tool configuration, right? In the manage Jenkins, you go to the manage Jenkins, and there I set if Java, Git, and Maven. I get the local Maven, right?
Correct. Global.
Yeah. Global tool configurations. So whatever the tools, remember, whatever the tools you are going to use, in the Jenkins for the project to build, you have to set up in global tool configurations page in the manage Jenkins global tool config, and then you have to use that tool particularly in the project. Okay, this is how you have to use it. Now I just use it, and what is this goal? What you want to achieve it? If you go to this, that's why I told you to just go through this Maven project. What phase you want to do this? What I can do, I can just do clean deploy or clean package, right? Let me do goal is clean package. That's all. Package spelling correct, right? Clean package. Okay. I just did clean package. The goal is clean package. I'm going to use this Maven tool. Okay. That's all. Build step is done. This will build the project which is in the source code management here. Now, what will do? Post build, I'll not do now. In the next example, I'll show you the post build section. Okay. Now, this is only the thing is to just building the project. Okay, let me add a post build section to archive the artifacts. So what is this? To archive the artifacts means whatever the artifacts will be generated as part of this build, it will archive it. Okay, I'll give as */**.var. I'll explain you what is this. Okay, .var. This is this project actually. This DevOps web is a Java web-based application. Java web application. That's why it will generate the var file. Okay, and */**.var means it will go beyond one folder and get the var file. I'll explain you in details. Okay, now save this one. Okay. Here, one good question I'll ask you, even you'll get a good real-time interview questions in the interview. Okay, I'll ask that question. I'll give you answer also. So when I created this project, I am landed into this project dashboard, this particular project or job dashboard. Okay, none of the build has started. This is totally a fresh new job, right? If I go to the Jenkins dashboard will have this my Java project, but it has never built, right? If I go to the project dashboard, it has never built also. Now, let me ask you the question. How the Jenkins works? What is the flow? When you trigger a job, how the Jenkins works and how the Jenkins behaves, or how the Jenkins execute the projects.
First of all, it will check the required application that respect to plugins.
Mm-hmm. No. So let me explain you. How the Jenkins, what is the flow, how it works? When you execute the job, suppose the job name is My Java Project. What Jenkins will do, when you execute this job, first it will create a workspace. It will create automatically a workspace for this particular job. Remember, this is a real-time questions, a real-time work. When the interviewer will ask, you have to explain like this. Okay. First, when you execute the job, it will create a workspace based on the job name. Based on the job name, it will create a workspace and it will download everything. It will check out this code and download the required libraries, binaries, and based on the form file available, form.xml, to this workspace folder. Everything in this repository, everything will be checked out to the workspace, and then it will build from that workspace itself, and it will generate the required output, required artifacts, and keep it in that workspace. So that is how it works. Now let's execute it and I'll show you how it works. Now if you see here, we have this workspace folder, right? It's not created. Error, no workspace is created because we have not executed the job yet, right? So it is no workspace created. Now let's go to this project and build now. So the build trigger has run. It is in progress. Okay. If I just, it is failed. It is failed. First project job itself failed. So why it is failed? Let's check. Click on this. So what happens here? If you see the logs, first it creates building in workspace. So first it build the workspace. This is the path workspace folder, and my Java project, this is the job name. As I said, based on the job name or project name, it will create the workspace. As I have used Git, source code management is used the tool Git. Okay, then it downloaded it cloned or checked out the complete project. See, cloning the repository, cloned it. Now what happened here? It is failed. Okay, what says? The ambient clean package, the Java home environment variable is not defined correctly. This environment variable is needed to run this program, build step in the variables. Okay. Now what happens? This project actually, let's go and check the Java environment variable, Java underscore home, right? Let's go to this my Java project. And let's go to the dashboard, manage Jenkins. Okay. And if I go to global tool configuration, go to this JDK, and we have this local Java, and we have this JRE Open JDK. So let's go to this server, Jenkins server, and this is our Jenkins server, right? Okay, not this one. This is our Jenkins server. If I just go to CD, what was the path? user leave JVM. User leave JVM. Okay. We have this JREK 1.8 and 1. This versions available. Okay, this is the Java version available. So what we can do here, if I check this particular, it gives JRE-OpenJDK. So JRE-OpenJDK, this one is for Java 11. This one is for Java 11. Okay, so what I can do, instead of this Java OpenJDK, what I can do, I can just select Java 1.8. Let me select this one. Let's see what is happening. Okay, let me select. Open JDK plus bin. So bin does not look like JDK directory. That means leave bin. Select it. Okay, open JDK. This is the Java 1.8 open JDK. I gave it. Okay. Now let's save this one. Let's save this one. Okay. If I do build the project, right? Just build the project. Let's see how it works. If I go to the dashboard, my Java project, build now. Let's see if it is working or still failing, then we'll troubleshoot it. Good. Now I changed the JDK to 1.8, as earlier it was 11, 1.8, because this particular project is mainly built for Java 8 version. Okay, that's why it was failing for Java 11. I changed it to 8 and it is success now. See, this is how, guys, as a DevOps engineer, you have to do troubleshoot and do the required setups. Now I found that due to the Java versions, it caused the issues. What I did, immediately went to the manage Jenkins, and there I changed the Java version so that my particular Java will be built here. Okay. What is that there? Yeah. JDK installations here. I gave 1.8. That means this project will build under this 1.8 Java. Got my point, guys? So if I go here and check the jobs, job is success now. If I go and check this job, and here the workspace also will find this workspace. See, this workspace is created. And all the files, as I said, everything will be cloned and downloaded everything to this particular workspace. And then from this workspace, it will start building. If I go to the target folder, our WAR file is generated. WAR file is generated. Now, how I'll go and check all these things in the backend? Simply go to this project, check the logs. Here I will get the workspace folder, right? If I go to this Jenkins workspace, let's clear this one. You have to log into the Jenkins server in the backend. Okay, backend. Go to this one, and we have this var leave Jenkins workspace, right? See, I have whatever the jobs been created, everything will be under this workspace only. I have created the sleep and sleep to write test project, DevOps project, on whatever the things are available, it will be there in this workspace. Now, similarly, I've created a workspace in the job name like my Java project. Go there. See, all these details have been created. And under this target folder, the WAR file or the artifact will be generated. Okay, now you're clear how we can set up and create the jobs. So this is a task for you. You create few freestyle job, do R&D and create a job. You can, as this is a public repository, you can clone this one and try practicing also. Let me just ping you in the chat, okay, so that you can do just copy it and put it in your notepad, okay, immediately. Put it in a notepad so you can take this job and do the practice, okay. What are the things I just showed you? You have to do this way to achieve this one. So in our next part, we'll see doing setup of multiple other jobs with multiple other post action options. So only the post action we did only to archive the artifacts. So what it did, it archived the artifacts. Now, next time we'll deliver the artifacts to the different server, Tomcat server, in a different remote server, remote machine. Lots of things we are going to learn, guys. Okay, that's all for today's class. So if you have any doubt or anything, we can discuss.